Hi, sai everybody. Cha ganjo yamisemi. Kundo yaibiin ni chiti ihiwa hanashisheyan di moto yaibiin. Yutasarugutu unigee sabira. Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. This time I wanted to talk about the verb yaibiin as it appears in Let's Sing Uchinaaguchi Volume 2. So thank you for tuning in. Now before we talk about yaibiin, we should actually talk about Wannee, since it's the first thing that you hear in the song. So if we break apart Wannee, we get the word one, which is I or me. And then there's the particle ya, which marks the topic of your sentence. And so what happens when the one and the ya are next to each other? You get this sort of contraction, it becomes Wannee. And there are rules where the final syllable of the word determines how the ya topic marker will sort of contract. Now the thing about one is it is irregular and it doesn't follow those rules. Okay, but just something good to know when you hear or when you say Wannee, you are telling people that you're going to be saying something about yourself. Okay, now let's go back to the word yaibiin. And the root form of yaibiin is yan. And the reason it's good to know this is because you won't find yaibiin in a dictionary. If you try to look it up, it will be under yan. Okay, so yan and yaibiin, these are copular verbs. Some might call them be verbs, meaning to be, am, is, or are. Again, yan being the root form, more casual. Yaibiin, a little bit more polite. And there are more levels of formality. One example would be the word debiru. And that one should sound familiar. Okay, but back to our phrase from lesson 2. Wannee something something yaibiin. Okay, this is really saying I am something something. And then the song says Wannee shun yaibiin. So it'll be I am shun. Or Wannee Nancy yaibiin. I am Nancy. And one example of how I might use this phrase, I might say Wannee ufugusku yaibiin. And I do sometimes use this phrase because my mother's side of the family, as English speakers say now, we are Oshiro, which is the name Oshiro, which would be the Japanized, colonized, assimilated version of the name Ufugusku, which some people also pronounce as Ufugushku. Okay. This phrase is not only limited to names. Another example, if you said Wannee uchinaguchi yaibiin. Okay, saying I am Uchinaaguchi, I'm an Okinawan person. A couple more examples to look at here. If I were to use my legal last name, I would say Wannee in yaibiin. In coming from my dad's side of Chinese ancestry. And kind of a funny thing about saying that is in Uchinaaguchi, the word in means dog. Okay, so there were a few times when I lived in Okinawa that, introducing myself, you come across someone who knows Uchinaaguchi or at least enough to know this word. There'd be some giggles, some chuckles. And, while we don't want to condone laughing at or making fun of people's names, I took it as kind of like an endearing sort of joke. Kind of like I was being let in on this inside joke that involved the use of the native language. Another example, Wannee hija yaibiin. Hija being the original version of the name Higa, which is the most common Okinawan last name. And this would be a good time to remind ourselves that it is important to be careful with elongating vowel sounds or shortening them. For example, if we were to say Wannee hija yaibiin instead of hija, you would be saying I am a goat. Okay, and so with any language, there's many different ways to say the same thing. Many different ways to talk about yourself, to introduce yourself. So I did want to go over one more briefly, and that's this one here, ndi icho yaibiin. So for example, I could say Wannee ufugusku ndi icho yaibiin. Kind of literally, this would be I am called Ufugusku. So this might be a little closer to how we might say, my name is Ufugusku. So just the difference between saying I am Ufugusku and my name is Ufugusku. Yeah, so again, Wannee ufugusku ndi icho yaibiin. Yutasarugutu unigee sabira. To anse gusuyo uchichikumi sochi ipeni fe debiru. Mata uiche wuganabira. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email. The address will be in the video description below. But thank you for listening. Hope you found the information useful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time,